Please state your full name and where you currently live.
Susan Turner Rogers. I live in Red Level, Alabama.
When and where were you born?
I was born April 18, 1955 in Andalusia Regional Hospital in Covington County, Alabama.
As a child, what did you want to be when you grew up?
A teacher.
Did that ever change? Nothing ever changed about that?
No, I always liked to play school as a child, and just that was just always what it was going to be.
What type of chores did you have as a child?
I helped Mama cook. Mostly I watched because she, I did cook a little bit when she wasn't around, but she didn't want me in there when she was in the kitchen. Wash clothes, hang out clothes, fold clothes, that kind of thing.
Did you ever have to work in the garden? Did you guys?
Oh yes, we picked vegetables because we always had a garden. We picked berries like huckleberries and blackberries and made jellies and jams. Actually, I watched her make them, but I did help with the picking.
What childhood memories do you have of your family working?
Well, my mother always worked at the Alitax, and my daddy always worked at the box factory is what we called it. They made boxes, cardboard boxes. And so I just remember, the places they worked. But then when they came home, it was just always, we were busy. We did, gardening, or we had animals that we had to take care of, like hogs or cows or horses or chickens even. And so that's the kind of work I remember. I know they did they worked outside the home, but then when we were all together as a family, we did that kind of thing.
Did you stay with anybody while your mom worked?
I did. I stayed with my grandmama and granddaddy. And so, and she had chickens too, so I have a background of farming, I suppose.
Do you remember hearing your parents talk about their work?
Yes. Not so much Mama, but Daddy. He would talk, and I do remember going to the place that he worked and seeing the machines and smelling the cardboard and the smell of the factory. I never went to the Alitax with Mama, so I wasn't as familiar with all that as I was Daddy's.
What was your first job outside of your home?
Well, when I went to LBW, there was a work-study program, and I worked at a school in Andalusia, which I was really an office aide, I guess. I did whatever, made copies or did running around stuff for the teachers and so on. And then my first job was being a teacher.
Did you have to help your family with their income, or if you didn't, how did you spend your money?
I did not help provide for the family. Some of my classmates did. They had, summer jobs, but I never had to do that. Mom and Daddy always, their jobs were sufficient. I didn't get some children get an allowance. I didn't. I got my needs. I had enough. I had everything I needed and probably wanted, but I didn't get an allowance.
All right, these are some career questions. What do you or did you consider to be your main occupation or career?
A school teacher. It's always been my occupation.
How did you decide on your career?
I don't remember how I decided. I liked my teachers at school, and I just thought that I would like to do what they did.
How did you train for your career?
I went to college. I went to LBW for 2 years. Went to Troy, at that time Troy State University, and graduated there. Went to Auburn at Montgomery, AUM, for the master's. For the library master's, I went to Auburn, so I trained in college.
And did you use technology in the workplace a lot?
When I first became a teacher, we didn't have computers. And then when I started in the library, it was in '93. It was several years after that before we got computers and internet and so on. And then they were talking about we're going to automate and we're going to check out books with computers. And I thought, no, I have no training in this, and I'm just not going to be able to do it. But you can teach old dogs new tricks, and I did learn how to do it. So now we use them, it's just a matter of course. But when I first started, there was nothing like that.
Yeah, I think we still checked them out with the cards. Is it easier with a
Oh, definitely easier. Yeah.
How did your work change over time?
Well, when I first started, I was teaching, and I taught 4th grade for 3 years, and then I changed to 1st grade for 13 years, and then I changed into the library. So I've transitioned from different age children to all children in the library, and the library work is just totally different than just having a classroom with the same kids all day.
What do you consider to be the most meaningful professional accomplishment?
Meaningful professional.
Probably should have said, what do you consider to be your most meaningful professional accomplishment?
I don't know. My personal thing is being able to conquer the computers and being able to deal with technology to check out books, because I never thought I would be able to do that. As far as relating to the children, I don't know. I can't pinpoint one particular thing, but when I was doing 1st grade and you would explain something to them and they wouldn't get it, and then you'd explain a little more, and then you could see the light bulb. You could just see, I got it. I know what you're talking about. That was just, that's wonderful to think about.
What effect did large events like wars, natural disasters, or other types of national or international disruptions have on your life and career?
Well, there's been some things, but I don't consider them as major as like World War II or something like that. So it's really not disrupted anything.
Okay.
Really.
Do you remember any type of labor strife or problems between workers and management at your place of employment? And how did you feel about organized labor?
No, in my little area, we've never had a problem, with unions or whatever. So,
how do you feel about the future of work in the United States?
I think the United States has shot themselves in the foot because we're importing too many things. Our factories are in disrepair, and I think we need to go back to making our own things with our own people instead of importing so much.
What do you feel about like the work ethic of the upcoming generations?
I don't think that they have as much of a want to. There'll be a job and somebody will need a job, but they won't feel like that. They think that job is beneath them, or I'm not going to work that hard for my money. And I think that's not a good indication of work ethic.
Do you feel like that's been a change over time?
I do.
What words of advice would you give to future generations about their careers?
I think that children, young adults that are graduating, need to be aware that they don't all have to go to college. Everybody's not cut out to go to college and open a book and study and do things, pushing paper kind of things. There are some people that are happier if they're working outside or creating something with their hands, and they need to be aware that there are options. You don't have to just be in that one straight line to a college.
And the last question, is there anything about Red Level in particular, just growing up here, seeing the work here, that you would like to share?
Well, it's just been really sad to see the downtown go. I can remember when there were stores all down the street, and now we have a bank, and that's about it. I remember clothing stores where you could buy shoes and dresses and so on, and at least one time 2 hardware stores. There were 2 grocery stores. There were, people, activity, all, and now you go uptown and there's nothing, and that to me is the sad part about this. We've just kind of, everything's gone away.
Anything else?
No.